Welcome to another edition of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. I'm Beth Duran alongside Ricky Romero. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you were waiting for Josh Tolley because, Rick, we were about to start the show, then Tolley got a phone call about free agency, about baseball. So we'll check in with him right now. The guy's always
It
working,
looks, or it sounds pretty intense.
right? You know what? I should mute his microphone just in case. But yeah, Tolley checked in with me on the show 15 minutes early. I'm like, what are you doing, Tolley? He's like, not much. I'm just here in town. Now the guy's making wheeling deal. He's calling different managers. Somebody just called him asking him for a player. I'm like, when did he become an agent? This guy's doing it all.
Hey man, that guy has a lot of talents. People forget he just can't catch a knuckleball. He can do way more than that. So get it through your heads, people.
All right, so today's show, no guest. Really appreciate Danny Jansen coming on with us last week, and Danny was fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to go listen to that episode, go and do it. Catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays had a lot of good insight. And what I've noticed, Rick, is that when we get these guys on, the first couple minutes, I didn't know him. I've never met him before. I think you know him a little bit, not really well, but it's more that they give us the cliche answers like, yeah, best shape of my life, working hard. And then all of a sudden, they don't want to hang up, right? He's like, I'm tired. I'm in my car. And then boom, he's like there another hour later. And he said he wants to come back on. That sounded cool.
Yeah, no, he really enjoyed it. He sent me a message after and saying that we do such a good job and that he really liked being a guest on it. And again, we tell we tell the guests that they're free to be themselves. I think that's the biggest thing that you try and do. Let them be themselves, and I think once they get comfortable, they open up more and more. And we got some good stuff out of him. There he is.
There he is. Josh Tolley joining us right now. Don't worry, Tony. We're just talking about it. We started the show without you.
Are you wheeling and dealing? Are you an agent all of a sudden?
That's what I do, buddy.
What happened, Tolley?
Well, I just got a call from Wally Backman. He's looking for a couple players, so I had to make a few phone calls. When Wally calls, you answer.
Tolley, take a chance. Catch your breath right now. You don't have your hat on right now. You look disheveled. You look like you just caught 7 bullpens right now, like our boy Danny Jansen last week.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's what we were talking about, how guys just come on the show and all of a sudden they're like really loosen up and they open up and we have fun with it. What was your reaction to Danny Jansen amongst your people?
They loved it. I listen, I think I knew Danny was going to be great in the first place, but I think you're right. As the show went on, he loosened up. All my people loved. I love Totally Farm, New York. I loved the storytelling, and it's cool to hear his honesty too. Like, hey, the struggle is real, man, and I think that's good for the kids to hear.
Yeah,
and the parents. For that
you know what stood out for me too, Beto, is him talking about how he only played 18 games his senior year.
Yeah,
to be able to get drafted, and on top of that, not be a high draft pick and go out there and prove yourself at the minor league level and then make it to the big leagues. I mean, it speaks volumes to who he is as a player and as a person. And yeah, that's it's easy to root for guys like that. And you just hope he goes out there and dominates this season. I know last season was a little bit tough for him, but he dealt with injuries too. And we all know when you're dealing with injuries and stuff like that, and you're on and off, you just never catch your groove. But I know once he came back from the DL, he caught fire there at the end. So you just hope he kind of can ride that into spring training here when they start games and then into the season, because he's a big part of that team.
Yeah, and if you guys follow us on Instagram, the Let's Go Ricky Row Instagram page, I started posting clips on the Reels section. I'm still learning the real. Like, I'm good at social media, but damn, I feel old because I haven't been doing the real stuff. So I did this, and I took the clip of him and Danny Jansen's advice for young catchers. That one got over 3,000 views on the reels, and it's like, wait, usually we can get like a 600, 1,000 off it. Pretty good. And his advice: watch baseball games. We forget about that sometimes. Rick, how many times have we gone to camps where we're talking to the kids, or totally, this too, where you tell kids, oh, who's your favorite player? They're like, who's your favorite team? Who'd you watch last night? Kids don't watch baseball anymore. Yeah. They'll play the video game, they see the highlights, but they're not really watching it. And I thought that was refreshing because Jansen's only 24, 25 years old saying, watch games, watch catchers. Like, that was really a cool thing. And I saw the shares, our boy at Legacy High School here in Southern California, made sure to send it out to his team. Like, watch baseball. What a concept, right, Tolly?
Yeah. No, believe it or not, you might learn something. Old coach told me that before. Watch the game, you might learn something. It's true. You will. You learn something every day you turn on the TV, something in that game will happen that you've never seen before, especially young kids who really never watched the game. And I actually listened to a podcast this morning with Sean Casey and John Hirschbeck, a retired umpire.
Mm-hmm.
And Hirsch said that, like, he echoed that. Like, I've seen things every day. When you've been in the game for 40 years, you think you've seen it all until you step on the field and you haven't seen it all. And it's the same thing with the kids. Like I like Danny's point about the styles, right? Like, we used to mimic Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
Now you ask the kids, you're right. They don't know who Aaron Judge is, most of them. Like, holy jeez, you like they don't have a problem turning on the TV until it's something they don't want to watch, I guess. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's true. I was gonna touch on what Josh said. You do have to. I know when we were kids, you were always trying to imitate somebody. For me, it was Ken Griffey Jr. or Randy Johnson because I was left-handed, stuff like that. I knew who other players on other teams were, and even though I grew up a Dodger fan, I knew who I wanted to follow and be like and do stuff like and things like that. But obviously, the biggest problem in life is obviously this.
Yeah.
You see 10, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids with phones now, and you see them glued to that. And it's no knock on parents. It's what the era we live in now, and it's just like that. But you almost wish that when it's time to like go watch a game. I know, like I said, as a young kid, when I used to go with my dad and sit in the pavilion out in left field or center field at Dodger Stadium, I'd lock it in. I'd lock it in, and even till this day, I like to lock it in. And Cara, my wife, will tell me sometimes, she's like, "Man, I come with you, and you just really don't talk during a game." And I'm like, I'm locked in. We're watching for different things, and obviously, with my experience, I'm sure Josh too. He watches a game, and it's a completely different set of eyes than let's say a high school kid watching a game.
Yeah.
We just dissect it differently, and that it just keeps my mind going. I'm always like trying to call pitches, trying to think what the pitcher's throwing. I'm looking at signs. I'm sure Josh, you do too. When you're watching TV and they're giving one signs and you see what they give, I'm sure you're just like, oh shit, like here we go. Like if it's an 0-2 pitch and they're trying to bust the guy in, you're like, oh man, he better get it in or else it's in the
seats.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's cool the stuff that we look for now.
You guys still do that now as retired players?
Yeah,
I do.
I love it. That's how I watch the game. I mean, Ricky's right. We see the game in a different lens, but that's the only way I know how to watch the game.
Huh.
But I will tell you this. I started catching because I used to watch Mike Matheny every single day. Opening day was like a holiday where I'm from. I grew up in, I'll call it Cardinals Nation. And we would get off school. My parents would leave me out of school so we could watch opening day. That's just what we did. Now it's like, they'd be lucky to put people in the seats in opening day.
Really? Totally. So when you watch a game right now, and I find this fascinating because I'm in left field drinking $22 micheladas at Dodger Stadium because, like, a lot of fans don't go to watch the game. They go to hang out. That's what it is. And you're right, Rick. The time I've seen you at a game, you just sit there because you get mad at people because they just want to go drink and hang out. Like, you sit there and you lock in on games.
And hey, I'm not saying everyone has to be like me either. No.
But I just I like hearing that perspective from you. Now, because I think people who are watching this and for parents of young kids, like, if I'm a parent of watching a young kid and kids are going to tell me it's boring, if there's somebody there explaining it to me, that I think would be fascinating. Now, Rick, when you're watching this, and totally same question to you, what is it that you're watching, or are you reminiscing about what you did? Like, what is it that's going on through your head as you're watching this game?
Mainly pitch sequences. That's probably my I would come up with combos my entire life, right? Like trying to figure out how to get hitters out. And a lot of the new hitters I don't know, but like if you don't have any history or any report on him, you pitch a certain way, and it's just like, wow, I wonder why he did that. And
Interesting.
then, they throw this pitch. Oh, I bet he did that because of this. Most of the
Yeah.
time. Now, I mean, the game has changed a little bit
Yeah.
because every pitch is a swing and miss pitch. But still, I mean, there's still your handful. I mean, like Jacob deGrom is like around here can't miss TV. Like freaking turn the tube on. It was like when Matt Harvey was the Dark Knight. Like that's what you did. You just tuned in because you never knew what you were going to see, and that's when deGrom pitches. I kind of hunker down in the basement and turn the game on, and he's fun to watch pitch, and you can see him. I mean, he's 3 steps ahead of the hitters as to why he's successful. I think. I mean, along with his power fastball and everything else that is electric coming out of his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit to what Josh said. I like watching pitch sequence, but I also like watching what hitters are doing, because again, now I have the seat where I can look for that. When you're on the mound, 60 feet, 6 inches, you see it, but you rely more on the catcher to see the little adjustments that hitters make. Hitters, they either move up on the plate, move back on the plate, maybe open up a little bit, maybe try and take away the inner half of the plate. I look for little stuff like that. I love seeing, defense first steps. When you're watching your defense behind you, and they're like engaged in every pitch and their first step and what they're doing, and that part to me is amazing. Because sometimes we always say, you move up through levels at the high A, double A, triple A level, and then big league defense is just on another level. Like I remember my first double A game, a ball was hit in the gap, and I was like, man, that ball's crushed. And my fielder at the time ran like, I don't know, a long way, and he caught the ball, and they're like, hey, welcome to double A defense. This is what we do here. And it's crazy to do that in double A, because when you get to the big leagues, it's even 100 times better. And I love seeing that, like, defense like that. They some of those fly balls in the gap, they are not as easy as you think they are. The way that center fielders and left fielders and right fielders make it look, they're not as, like, the jumps that they get. I mean, a lot of these balls are hit with a lot of backspin, and they're moving, and some of those line drives are not always straight. They look straight on TV, but they make it look a lot easier than when you think they are.
Yeah.
That's a wicked position. Playing the outfield is hard. Like, imagine running full tilt with your eyes bouncing, and you have to, like, not take your eye off the ball.
Gliding.
Just think how hard. Gliding, and they do. That's why, like, Kevin Pillar is incredibly valuable. Like, period. Like, this dude goes and gets everything. I watched.
He doesn't have a job yet, right?
Nope.
No.
Wow.
A lot of people don't have jobs. We're going to get into that right now. But just to wrap that up, I actually went to watch Long Beach State play the other day. I had a Sunday where I had nothing to do, so I went, watched a couple innings, and just, college baseball tends to drag because they have so many pitchers there. But I was just watching. I'm like, damn, these guys are like a couple years away. Some of these guys from the major leagues. Like, this is pretty cool to watch it. So just the ability to go watch baseball wherever you may be right now is a lot of fun. Then this past Sunday, I also went to watch my boy, our good friend Alomar De La Torre. I went to watch him. He's in 8th grade. You know what I liked about him? Playing second base. Alomar De La Torre, who loves Totally Time, who saw me Saturday night, he's like, hey, when's the Totally Time shirt coming out? I'm like, relax. We got to get the artwork first, Alomar. But what is he doing? He's wearing high stirrups, legit stirrups. I like that about him, man. The real stirrups, the way to do it. Old school, wearing number 12, swinging a lefty. So Alomar watches our show when he gets out of school on Tuesday. So there's your shout out, Alomar. He didn't ask for a shout out, but I gave it to him because he had the real stirrups. Because some of his teammates had the pants all the way down low, Ricky style, where they're covering up the shoes. No, Alomar, high stirrups, real stirrups. So like a grown up. That's good parenting right there.
You're all about that.
Only middle infielders can do that, though, and maybe like center field. Like, with my body type, could you imagine me having stirrups on? Go ahead and take that mental picture. No, it doesn't work. But hey, tell Alomar, don't change, baby. I love it.
Exactly. Now, if you're a catcher, who cares how you wear your pants? Nobody sees them anyways, right? Shin guards.
Yeah,
hey,
that's right.
When I was growing up, I was all about pants up, and then I got to the big leagues, and I was like, wait, you get to customize your own pants? I was like, and I saw everyone wearing the pants down, and I was like, man, I'll join the fun.
Hey, Rick,
You get to customize your own pants, literally.
what do you mean? They come in like hem it for you, like a tailor?
Yeah,
No.
they're tailor made for you with your last name on them and your number, and they literally come and say, hey, what kind of pants do you want? How do you want them? And then if those pants ain't working, you say, hey, I want to go high socks. All right, well, let's tailor you to those pants then. Yeah. Dude,
Oh
it's
man, I always
crazy.
wondered how come like the guys with the high knees, the stirrups all the way to the knees, like how come the pants look so good and when I would try it, they would be all puffed up because these guys had them. Oh man, you just ruined my childhood, Rick. Like,
Yeah, you ruined it.
Anything from like your waist to your inseam to how long you want them. If you
Oh.
want an open bottom, a closed bottom, dude, but like the style's starting to change though. I mean, you see Walker Bueller, like his pants
painting
are
them
like,
on,
yeah, like
painting
pants
them on.
high. Can you
Yeah.
imagine Josh Tolley in a pair of those?
Yeah, let's go. Some spandex. Come on, yo.
Yeah, that's right. It would look good on me, I'm sure.
All right, before we get to the big leagues, Ricky Romero had his coaching debut this weekend, right? Big weekend for your kids. Is Sebastian Romero going high stirrups or is he going a full pant? What's he doing?
Low pants, dude. They don't sell them. They don't sell low like short pants anymore. Like Nike pants are like long and they're open bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got him those.
All right. And how did Sebastian do?
Dude, so listen to this. So it was a Friday night game. It's pitcher coach
pitch,
or
right?
pitcher the pitching or the coach throws. He's a pitcher, and there's no score, no outs, no nothing like that. But there's a fence, and Sebastian hit it out twice, dude. No joke.
Wow. At least somebody in the family can hit. Hey, Ricky.
Remind you what that bad means.
Ricky, how many tickets did you punch this weekend?
None.
I can just picture Ricky out there just like every other dad's like trying to hit the barrel. Ricky's like, no, nasty slider, swing and miss. Boom, right over top of it. See ya, kid. Sit in the truck.
These kids are like 5 and 6. So, but nah, man, it was crazy. It was like, honestly, like to see the smile. Like now I see what you guys are talking about like seeing your kids smile when they do something cool. Like his first one, like he hit it out and he kind of looked like, and on the drive, and then the second one, he hit it out like it was a laser, just boom. And you can tell he enjoyed the moment. But I asked him after, I was like, how did it feel? He's like, Daddy, I can't believe so many people were clapping for me. And I thought that was cool, man. Like, honestly, like I thought it was cool. Like I came home and my wife wasn't able to go to the game because it was a late night game with the baby and all that. But like literally, like it was like to see it, how much he enjoyed it and how much he loved it. Like it, when I like showered that night and I went to bed, like I was talking to Cara and I teared up a bit. I honestly did, man. I'll admit it. Like it was just a cool moment because it was a daddy son moment. Nobody was there, from our family or anything like that. But it was a cool moment that both of us shared, and it was pretty cool. And I'm sure it's the first of many accomplishments for him. And again, it doesn't count. I'm worried about him being the best player or anything like that. But to see his excitement level and he realized how quick this game can humble you, because we played on Sunday and he thought he was going to hit 3 home runs and he didn't hit any, and the fence was a little further back this time, and he got in our car and he's like, Daddy, I didn't hit any home runs. And I'm like, well, son, this is baseball. Like, on every game, it's just this is the game.
Ricky, tell the fans that your son is the best shortstop in California. Blah, 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 blah. Go ahead.
Shit,
just do it.
Defense,
let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story what happened to me yesterday. I was at a hardware store with a buddy of mine. And the buddy of mine is like, he's black and white. Like, this is no gray area. It's like, he just tells it how it is. He doesn't care. And I was talking to this guy about the batting cage, blah, blah, blah. And the guy says, yeah, my son, he was the best shortstop in the area. And this guy looks him dead in the face and says, where'd he go to college to play? Oh, he didn't. He goes, well, if he was that good, why didn't he go to college? Well, his grades, this and that, and he got hurt. And I was like, that is the epitome of like fallacies for the parents. It's like, no, your kid is not actually that good. If so, somebody would have found him. But it's like it's so true though. Like this guy has been pumping his kid up, literally, Ricky, probably since he's been 6. Oh, he's the best shortstop in the world. That's what made me think it. I was like, just do it. Every other parent does it. Just tell everybody he's the best. Sebastian, you are the best. You are going to be the big league shortstop for the Dodgers. Ready, go.
Hey, Sebastian had post game
Could
interview.
you
You got to go
imagine?
to Ricky's Instagram.
Hold on, Ricky. Could you imagine talking like that?
No.
Ever. Even if your
No.
kid was the best, you would never say that.
And it's funny you say that, because this is what I'm teaching him, like little things about life and in the game.
Yeah.
I could see him because he's one of the bigger kids on his team, probably the biggest kid. And when I put him at first base and kids were throwing the ball to him, and he would be like, "Hey, so and so, that's a good throw. That's a good throw. Way to throw it to me." And I'm like, "That's badass. That's what I want."
That's what it's about.
Yeah. Like you can tell he was encouraging, and it's not coming from me. I'm not telling them to do that, but I think he sees the way I am with him when I'm like encouraging him, like, "Hey, that's a good throw," or "Hey, way to field that ball," or "Hey, way to do this." Like he was doing it to his teammates, dude. And I was like, "Hey, that's a good swing. Hey, good swing, good swing, good swing." And I'm like, holy smokes! Like he might seem like he's not listening to me like 80% of the time, but he really is, and that's just the way kids are. You just hope he soaks in the good stuff, and he's a good person and a good teammate.
Hey, who's that first baseman? The mayor? What's it?
Sean Casey.
Sean Casey, like where everybody would get to first base and have a full-on conversation with them, right? That's gonna be Sebastian, right? At first base in T-ball. Hey, man, good job on your homework.
Yeah, dude. Like
that's awesome.
When he did that though, I was like, man, that
cool.
I'm even more proud of that than him hitting.
No doubt, because but at some point you're gonna have to teach him failure, right? Like you're gonna have to teach him what it's like when you punch out 4 times in a game. So it's like just embrace the great moments, and there's be plenty of bad moments on the field. He'll kick balls, right? Like it's just those moments that like you use them as teaching pieces for them. But it just the fact that we've been on the whole daddy ball and my kid's the best. I thought it was so funny what happened to me yesterday. I was like, this is why I do what I do.
Well, our good friend Billy Wardlow sent me a reel about there's 2 types of little league dads. I can't post it up here, but I couldn't figure it out. But one dad's like, "Hey, if my kid sucks, you bench him." The other dad is like, "Hey, my kid hasn't pitched. He needs to get a requirement of 3.4 innings in per game." It's like there's 2 types of dads. So we go back and forth. We can do a whole separate other podcast about how to be a little league dad. About that, but that's another story.
Yeah, I like it. That's right.
All right, let's get going into the topics today. Dodgers still don't have Freddie Freeman. The Braves traded for Matt Olson. So let's get going. Josh Tolley, before the show started, said he doesn't think the Dodgers are getting Freddie Freeman. Now, Tolley is connected. You saw the show started. He wasn't on our show because he was on the phone with somebody. What the heck is going on with Freddie Freeman? And don't piss off Dodger fans right now, Tolley.
I won't. I mean, you never know. The Dodgers could write the check, but my prediction, right?
Hold on. You said but.
They could. I mean, but this is my prediction. I'm giving you my prediction. So, all right, here it is. The Blue Jays come on hot yesterday. All the reporters are saying the Blue Jays are on them. The Blue Jays are on them. Well, then who comes out of the woodwork last night? The Red Sox and the Yankees. Nobody wants to play Freddie Freeman 18 times in a season. Nobody. So the Yankees, who have a deep checkbook, the Red Sox, who have a deep checkbook, says, well, if we can't beat them, let's just have them join us, right? And I think that's their mentality. Me personally, I see them going to an American League East team, whoever's going to open up the checkbook the most and probably the fastest. I would imagine Freddie wants to get to camp at this point.
Hey, and breaking news, talking about opening up the wallet, the Braves opened up the wallet to Matt Olson, 8 years, $168 million. So you're telling me Freddie Freeman is not sitting there like, I know he's older, but I mean, he was the
Yeah, I mean, these numbers will be north of 300 for Freddie.
He's 32
Yeah.
years old. His last
Yeah.
big contract, and so I've been working on Spectrum Sportsnet's The Dodgers Show the last couple of days over the weekend, and obviously the big topic has been Freddie Freeman and what's going to go on with him. And I said yesterday, the longer it takes, the less confident I am that the Dodgers will sign him. And now Freddie Freeman grew up in Orange County, which is nowhere near Dodger Stadium. He lives in South Orange County, which is closer to San Diego than it is to Dodger Stadium. So all the Dodgers fans are saying, "Oh, he has a house here," but it's Corona Del Mar. He might as well live in the city, going up to where Tully lives. Like that's how far away. It's an hour and a half
Yeah.
drive, easy, without the traffic.
Might as well sign with Anaheim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the less confident I am, the longer it drags out. And when yesterday the news came out, like, "Oh, Toronto's," like, wait a minute, and then
Canadian guy.
Then I went and looked at how much the Rogers Center, the Rogers Group, made as a profit last couple of years. Like, oh, they got the budget. Then I completely forgot he's Canadian. He has a Canadian citizenship.
He's got Canadian ties. He played on the Olympic team or the national team many
WBC team.
WBC team. Thank you. Yes, that's right. But listen, Rogers Communication, and I don't know this to be a fact, but I would imagine, and Ricky, you probably know better than me, this baseball operation for Roger Communication, I would imagine is about 4 or 5% of their business.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this is just like they're probably looking, they're hoping they lose money, right? They need some sort of tax incentive at the end of it, but they're loaded. So I don't think the budgeting for them is the issue. I think, but I see Cashman, Chaim Bloom, I see those guys saying we don't want to do this for 18 times because, dude, once he gets hot on a team, he'll just kill you. I was with the Mets. Freddie Freeman killed us. It didn't matter where we played him.
Yeah.
Anywhere. No, he killed us.
Yeah, he's a heck of a hitter, and I think I'm with you too, Beto. I feel like, obviously with that trade that the Braves made yesterday, and teams kind of start seeing this, and other teams start seeing what's going on, and then they're like, hey, let's just jump on it and see what's up, and kind of like the Red Sox, nobody was talking about them. And all of a sudden they're like, all right, this move is being made, this guy's going here, this guy's going there, all right, how about we jump in on Freddie Freeman too and check in on him? And those are the teams that usually sometimes out of nowhere they will open up that checkbook and they'll be like, all right, come on down, but it's just to me it's tough to see where he ends up, just because I feel like it's a really toss-up, and I'm with Josh. I think he ends up in the AL East unless he really, really wants to come home and play for the Dodgers. But Dodger fans want everyone too, so they can't have everyone.
But also, Freddie Freeman, when people start saying, "Oh, he comes home," like, wait a minute, his wife went to the University of Central Florida. They have a big house in Atlanta. She's got
and it says the Rays are in it too, though. Like
I don't know where Tampa comes in.
Yeah.
So there's always that when it was the Dodgers and the Braves, in the back of my head, I'm like, wait, there's always a third team, right? There's always a mystery team that just pops on in, and now we're starting to see these kind of things. So Dodger fans, oof.
Josh, I got something for you. Him being the franchise, would you have kept him in Atlanta?
I would have kept him in Atlanta, but I'm a traditionalist. I would say the same thing about Jacob deGrom in New York as a Met. Like, just find a way to let this be his home. Like, listen, you know how I feel about Alex. I think Alex is one of the best personality-wise, personable, smart at what he does. He is. I like what Alex does. I'm sure he has a rhyme or reason for what he did, but if I was a general manager, that's what I would have done. I would have tried to find a way. And there's another group you can get deep into the books because they're a publicly traded company.
Yep.
They're owned by Liberty Media Group.
Made a bunch of money.
A lot of money, right? So I don't think
there is
I don't think money's the issue.
No.
There is something about seeing guys like that you've watched them. Like we've watched Freddie Freeman from when he was a young kid.
Yeah.
And
right.
I mean, he was there through the toughest of the toughest times, and when they stunk, and to be able to win a World Series and do what he did, and the consistency he's been able to maintain. Those are the guys. You're right. You wish you see him in an Atlanta Braves uniform for the rest of his career. Like, hey, here you give him the Kobe treatment. We see it with Clayton Kershaw.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Like they're like, all right, we'll keep you on a one. Not that he wanted a 1 year, but Kirsch is obviously a little older and he's probably on the tail end of his career. But here we're gonna reward you with the 1 year, 15 million, whatever they give.
1 year,
million,
17. But the thing with the Dodgers, they need Kershaw because they don't have that much depth in their rotation.
You're right.
Now, Alex, who you mentioned, is Alex Anthopoulos, the general manager of the Braves. Excuse me, there, and he yesterday talked to the media and afterwards was almost in tears talking about how they had a trade for Matt Olson. And look at this tweet that came out right now. Alex Anthopoulos fought back tears as he discussed the Olsen trade, which led to Ricky Romero tweeting, "I wonder if my guy AA cried when he released me." Hilarious, funny, good job by you, Ricky. But the whole tweet was the toughest decision he had to make as a GM. It was clear he meant the Freddie Freeman aspect without saying his name. Ricky tweets, again, "I wonder if my guy AA cried when he released me," as a joke, going back and forth. Over 1,000 likes on Twitter, and you don't even have that. You only have a couple thousand followers on Twitter, which was hilarious. So that means it was trending in Canada. People loved it. And Ricky, that's fun. That's personality. I like that from you. But
it was all in good fun, man. It really was. I saw that and I was like, I gotta jump on this on this tweet here and retweet it with the comment of mine. And it was all fun. I mean, A and I had a great relationship. Even though it didn't end for both. I mean, as a GM, the GM that signed you to a contract doesn't want to see you struggle. He wants to see you succeed.
Yeah, because he gets fired.
He wants to look as a guy that, hell yeah, I locked this guy up, and obviously things didn't work out for me at the end. But you know what? At the end of the day, like I said, you're happy with he's been able to accomplish a lot bigger things. And but again, this was all good fun. I thought it was pretty funny, and some people laughed at it. Other people a little bit too serious about it.
Now, totally. Remember, you got rid of Twitter for a reason, right?
Yeah, that's why I got rid of Twitter, boy.
And let me take you back, Twitter. Let me take you back, totally. Do you miss these kind of comments? Yeah, I know I cried tears of anger when he traded for R.A. Dickey.
Yeah, see, that's I don't even I can become an angry person. Like I'll just come off the rails and just blast the guy. So it's just better I don't say anything. I stay out of it. I don't.
Hey, this guy doesn't know that it gave us Josh Tolley and Mike Nicky.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Now, what about this one, Tolley? There were some positive fans. We had some positive ones for Ricky. I feel like every Blue Jays fan wanted you to succeed, bro. Injury screwed you up, dog. That's from Gertage717. Snowfee said the shade, but I miss you. Tough seeing my favorites go one by one. And then also miss you. Love watching you pitch. Left everything out there. Respect. So, see, totally. Twitter had some positive reaction to it.
Yeah, but it's not worth it. The good doesn't outweigh the bad. You guys are crazy.
I had an old account and I got rid of it too. Like I was like, I don't need this. I mean, it had over 100,000 followers, and it was during that time where Twitter was blowing up, and we engaged with fans and all that, and then it just got a little bit too personal, and you do start struggling, and you start seeing people come out like wishing you death, and you cost me money, you're an asshole, or this and that, and it's crazy because you do see some of that stuff. But so I deleted that whole account, and then when I tried to come back to get my name back, somebody had taken it, so I had to change it and start from scratch. But now, like that, I'm on the outside looking in. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I just don't have time to fight with people, dude.
Yeah, I was like tweeting at some people like, "Hey, man, relax. Like, take a chill pill, bro. It's all in fun. Like, I'm not serious here."
Totally. What about this comment?
They need to hear that. You're right.
What about this comment? Well, it clearly wasn't the toughest decision he'd ever made.
See, that's humor to me. Like I think that's a funny rebuttal. I would laugh at that.
Oh yeah. But as I told Ricky yesterday, I was like, Rick, just reply to these people, man. Have fun with it because you're obviously at peace with what happened in your career. Yeah. So is he. He's moved on. Have fun with it. And so what's the best way to shut up a troll? Engage them because they're like, How about this one? I heard he helped pack your bags and carry them to your car. He even gave you $20 for gas and a bagged lunch. Is this true? Did you get a bagged lunch?
No, it's not. He didn't have to give him a 20. He already paid me whatever the number was. That's what I would have said back. Tough tickets, buddy. Listen, Alex, I have the utmost respect because of what Ricky said. Like when it all comes to head and
Yeah.
it all comes to an end, he calls you in the office. He says, "JT, we're good. Thanks for everything you did," and you move along, and he still keeps the relationship. Like you, it, people that just doesn't happen anymore, and that's
Right.
why I. If
Yeah.
Alex Anthopoulos ever calls me and wants, hey, what do you got on this guy? I would pick my phone up instantly. I have
Yeah.
that much respect for
And
him.
you know what? Now that we're in this topic, let's talk about the release story. When I got released,
Yeah.
dude, I was crying. Like you just feel like you've been fired from work, and obviously, who wants to get fired? Nobody does. And I remember it was I was trying to come back from my knee injury, from my knee surgeries, and I can just tell I was struggling. I was
Yeah.
laboring and through my bullpens, through everything. It was just like it just the buildup had just become so much. And I, obviously I would hope that they would just continue to give me some more time. And I was in Florida in spring training, or in extended spring, trying to get right. We had just found out that Cara was pregnant with Sebastian, and um and we were actually going to go find the gender the week I got released. Like, I got released, and then I had to stay an extra day because she had an appointment, and we were going to go find out the gender. Obviously, I didn't when I did that, I didn't realize, or I didn't know that where I was going to get released. So we had all the appointments set up and everything, so that was kind of awkward staying back in Dunedin, Florida for an extra 1-2 days just to try and find the gender of our son. And I remember sitting there, or I get done with the workout, and I'm in the locker room, and one of the pitching coaches comes and grabs me, and I knew it's like you know that feeling, right, Josh? When they just like it's just they're really quiet, and everyone's kind of quiet around you, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? And then they're like, hey, Ricky, can I get a word with you? And he's like, hey, Alex is in the office. He wants to see you. And I was like, fuck. Like, that was my first reaction. Like, damn it. Like, so I go and sit down, and I'm still holding hope, saying like, hey man, like, continue to take your time, and we're here for you, yada yada yada, whatever. But he sat me down in the office, and it was around other coaches, and he's like, hey man, I just wanted to bring you in and talk to you, and let you know that we're gonna and the words weren't easy for him to come out either, like, obviously, because we had a great relationship. He's like, we're gonna release you. And I just remember putting my head down, and I was like, fuck, like, you in tears. The Toronto Blue Jays is all I'd ever known for 10 years. And
Yeah.
I came in there as a young 20-year-old kid from Cal State Fullerton out of East Los Angeles that, just they took me in, they embraced me, the whole country embraced me, the city, everywhere I went. It was just such an awesome experience. And and after that, it's like you black out. I don't even remember our conversation after that, because you just start thinking about your next step and what's going to happen after. And you're like, man, is my baseball career over? I can't get over these nagging injuries. Um, and I think, you're mad, and I might have said some things that, not anything that was bad, but I was like, man, like, you can't do this. Like, come on, man. Like you always want to say, take it back,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
let me continue to work out here, man. Like, I'll continue to be a positive influence on the kids that are around me here, and the young kids, and stuff like that. But unfortunately, you learn that that's part of the business, and it's just it just happens. It was for him. He felt it was time for me to move on, and fortunately, I was able to land on my feet with the Giants, and even though it didn't work out there, I mean, when you get released from there, it wasn't the same, like, emotional roller coaster, I would say, but it still sucked, when you get brought in the office. This was after I threw a bullpen in Tacoma. I was with Sacramento, and I'd had a rough game the night before, and the manager just brought me in and said, hey man, they're going to release you. We've seen how hard you've worked. From when that second time I got released, when the manager sat me down, and they're like, man, you're everything a teammate can be. You're the way you engage with everyone, with all the young guys and this and that. You're a great teammate, great person. That to me meant a lot. The fact that he said that, because I hadn't been part of that organization for a long time, and the ties that I still have there and that I was able to build there, I still keep in touch with a lot of those guys. And but yeah, man, I remember going back to the hotel, and then you just freaking pack your bags. I headed back to Sacramento, jumped on a car, packed my apartment up, and then just drove home, and that was it. And yeah, twice I was released, so um, yeah, it's not fun
I think I
part of
think
the
it's
game.
different. It is part of the game, Rick, but I think it's different too. Like you said, like if I would have been released by the Mets, but as I got into my career and you get traded, and then you get a deal, and then you then become a free agent, and the team signs you back, and then all of a sudden, then they don't want you back, then you go to a different team, you get hurt, then you get released. Like it didn't. I mean, I was with a handful of teams at the end of my career, right? So it's like it just became kind of the norm, right? Okay, you're out. Next one's in. Start over. That
Yep.
was if I would have probably felt the same way you did if it was the only thing you knew, right? Like that's the hardest thing is you're like now, oh shit, now what do I do? You just
Yeah,
know the people at the Blue Jay. You don't know anybody else.
yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this: was it tough for you when they told you were traded from the New York Mets?
Yeah, it was weird because the deal wasn't done. It was like, hey, we're probably going to trade you, but they need to work through a deal with RA before this gets done. But if the deal gets done, then the trade will happen. There was a lot of like moving parts to the whole thing. And I was kind of in shock. I was like, oh, okay, just call me when it's done. But it was weird because the Mets sent Ray Ramirez out to Denver where I lived because I had a hamstring injection in October of that year. So now let's call this December sometime. I think we got traded in December. So now it's December, and he came the week before the trade because he wanted to watch me run. He was like hell bent. He's like, I need you to run. I was like, you mean to run where? And he's like, I need to see you do some sprint. I was like, I haven't ran my entire career. Now you want me to run? So I did. I ran, and now looking back on it, that's why Ray Ramirez was there, right? Just to make sure I was healthy.
Damn, damn, the business side of it, man. It's I love doing the podcast. Every single week, I always hear some new stories about where you going, and it's like we've heard some of these stories and inclinations, but it's always interesting to hear. And like I said, for the high school coaches or the parents who are listening, yeah, this is why Tolly and Ricky stress about be a kid and just enjoy being a kid because the moment you sign as a pro, whether you're coming out of high school, whether you're coming out of college, it's a man's game and it is a business. So all
Oh yeah.
this like it's okay to just be a 10-year-old playing at the park. You don't have to be flying across the country to go to this showcase because nobody cares about you throwing 52 miles an
Yeah.
hour in your spin rate when you're 10. Just be a
And
kid.
I don't think I'd ever told that story about me
No, I've
getting.
never heard it.
I mean, yeah, and everything. Having that conversation, walking out of the office into my locker, and just cleaning. Like I literally cried cleaning up my locker because I knew it was the last time I was going to be in a Blue Jay uniform. Like, just seeing my hat, seeing my jersey, seeing my baseball pens, and just sitting there like. And again, it was extended spring. Not a lot of guys were on my side of the locker room, just the guys that were rehabbing, but I was close to some of those guys. And even like Billy Warlow was there actually, Beto, and he helped me pack my bag, and he is like, because our friendship had grown so much, he was just devastated, and you can tell it was like he was sad, man. And I'm sitting there, literally wiping tears, and you're folding your clothes into your bag, and you're just like, all right, man, like thank you,
Yeah.
thanks to everyone, thanks for
Right.
everything. See you later, and
Yeah,
Man.
but just remember this though. That's the difference between you and a lot of other guys, right? Is a lot of people lose connection. I actually talked with somebody this morning about this, who's with the Giants as a coach, and that's what happens in the game when people don't like you. You're just off the map and nobody ever speaks to you again, or not necessarily don't like you. You're just kind of an irrelevant teammate. When you're
Mhm.
a good teammate, you still have constant contact with. It's not going to be everybody. Like out of all the players I've ever played with, there's probably 6 to 8 of us that are like tight still. That
Mhm.
I call that I talk to, a couple times a month. But once you're gone, you're irrelevant, and it goes to the point with Billy. Like that's the truth. The sole truth is like it. You could ask Billy right now and it kills clubhouse guys and trainers when one of their guys gets released.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Billy's probably sad he was missing on the tips, but that's for a whole different conversation.
Oh man.
No, man, but you're right. You're right. I mean, it kills those guys. And again, I mean, we had Jesse Chavez on here, and he spoke about how close he is to clubbies. You know,
Yep.
it's a real thing, man. Players are close to clubbies, and they're just as big as part of the team as your teammate that's right next to you. You know, you spend time with them, and they do stuff for you, and you thank them, but it goes beyond that, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy the stuff that they're able to provide for you. Like, shoot, they're probably better sports psychologists than the damn sports psychologists.
Yeah, 100%. No question in my mind.
We'll be talking to him soon. And all right, totally. That was good, man. That was good. This show went all kinds of different places. I like that. Totally. We got to get you a shirt. This comes from Carlos De La Torre. Catcher, because pitchers need heroes too. We got to get that shirt for you. You got to find a way, because we understand that without the Tolly, this show doesn't happen, right?
It doesn't.
I love it.
He's damn right. It doesn't,
all right,
man.
and let's wrap it up. Last night, Ricky went to watch the Lakers take on the Toronto Raptors, and my goodness, you want to be happy you don't have Twitter right now, because Ricky said, "Sorry, Toronto. Sorry, all of Canada. I'm rooting for LeBron," and nope, it didn't happen right there.
Look at Beto, the referee.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, Mikey V making these pictures up there. All right, Ricky, go ahead.
This guy's amazing, by the way. Mikey V, you are the man. I love this shit.
It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, the Photoshops that we put up there, Mikey V, I'll post them on the Instagram at Let's Go Ricky Roll. All right, Ricky, go ahead. Apologize to Canada.
Fuck no. No, man.
You're a Lakers fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're half Canadian now, too.
No.
You're a resident of Toronto. You're a resident of
the way it works.
Toronto.
Like, there's two things that you just can't mess with me. Laker basketball and 49ers football. That's it. Like,
wait, you're a 49ers fan? I thought you were a Rams fan. I missed this. I don't know where I've been for the last 2 weeks.
They should be apologizing to me for that ass whooping the Lakers took last night. Jesus, man. Like, oh, I wore it, dude. I wore it. I like, my Twitter just blew up. They're like, I think the Lakers scored like 6 points in the first quarter.
Oh my.
They're bad.
It was like 30-6 to start off the game. My father-in-law came with me because he's in town, Cara's dad. And you know the Kermit the Frog meme where he's sipping on tea? That was my father-in-law. Just like, I kept like looking at him, and he's like,
he's gonna snap. He's gonna snap. Hey, let me ask you something, Ricky. So if you're tight with a guy that plays for the Raptors, and he's like, "Yeah, Rick, I got you. Get you tickets." You come to the game, you wear a Lakers jersey and root against him. Who got you tickets? Who got you tickets?
Never wear another team's jersey.
Who got you tickets?
I'm not wearing another team's jersey.
You didn't answer my question. I want to know where you got the tickets from. This has a
but
bunch
it ain't
of
happening because I don't know any Raptors. So
okay. I didn't mean to call you out, but
no, you have to.
Hey, man. My team's in shambles, but my guy Donovan Bennett, DJ, back in Toronto, was clowning me this morning too, man. If you see his tweet, like I'll show it to you really quick. So I post that, I'm coming to Toronto for opening day. We're gonna be up there. Our kids are in spring break, so we booked some tickets to go up there, and we're gonna go watch opening day and all that good stuff. It's the first time in 2 years Toronto, the Rogers Center will be at full capacity, and it's gonna be fun. You know how that is, Josh. Opening day there is electric. They have a young, exciting team. They're expecting to do great things, and I think it's just gonna be that much better. Anyways, I put flights are booked. See you in Toronto for opening day. What does he do when you're a Lakers fan and are desperate to watch a winning team?
Wow.
I love it.
And I said, my reply was like, oh, one title has you guys feeling too good. Cut the cord on that already. You guys are a 7 seed. It's not like you guys are blowing through the East, you know? Like, come on, man. But yeah,
Ricky's
obviously
fired up.
you pick a fight with one Canadian, you get about 100 of them, and all of them started jumping on me again this morning. And I said, you know what? At the end of the day, leave me alone. My team is in shambles. Like, my team stinks. Like, what do you want me to do?
Ricky's in shambles right now. All right,
Yeah.
so that's enough, Doctor. That was enough basketball talk for Ricky. If you want to, Ricky_row24. If you guys want to send him a tweet from Canada. Thanks to everybody who listens to the podcast and sends pictures from the Let's Go Ricky Row Instagram account. Blue Jay fans in the UK want to have us on the podcast. I think we might be able to make something happen. Billy Wardlow, Raciel Lopez, everybody who got their stickers and we're posting it. We appreciate you. All right, here it is. Tolly time. What do we got today, Tolly?
Well, there's going to be
wrap
a
up the show.
little bit of tussle. There's a little tussle going on. I live in Mets Yankee Nation, right? My biggest rant is going to be against professional sports teams fans. Okay, you ready?
And go.
Well, not yet. Let me set my clock, just so I know what a minute looks like. Because sometimes I get going, guys, and I'm gone. So here it is. All right. Stopwatch. Ready? Go. Ever since the New York Yankees traded Gary Sanchez, now the Yankee fans are mad because the deal was not good enough. I have never seen in my life professional sports fans that are so angry. When Gary Sanchez is the catcher, he sucks. Get this guy out of here. So you know what Cash does? He gets him out of here. Now they have a problem with, oh, the deal wasn't sweet enough. As to if all of these people know what a sweet deal would be in the major leagues, I don't want to hear any more. Just sit back, enjoy the game, have your $22 Michelada sitting out in the outfield, enjoy the game, and that's it. That's it. Stop. 36 seconds. It didn't take me long today. No, it's for real though. How many times you guys have to hear it? The bandwagon fan all the time. Holy shit. Gary Sanchez gets traded. My phone's blowing up. By the way, I fought with a lot of these people. I was like, Gary Sanchez last year will be an all-star. The kid, dude, he was an all-star, or he was almost an all-star. He went off. Now they trade him, and oh my God, what are we gonna do? We don't have enough catching. Gary, why did we trade Gary Sanchez? I've never seen any group of fans, and I feel like it's mainly baseball fans. Like you don't hear about it in the NFL, you don't hear about it in the NBA. It's always baseball fans. They're never happy. That was a bad deal. I said, then what the hell is a good deal? Tell me what would deem a good deal. Like, fucking save it. I'm done. I'm done with them.
Get out of here, Tolly. Get
All
out.
right, see you, boys.
Hey, we're gonna go get some $22 Michaelas. What did you? Micheladas.
Micheladas.
Same shit.
Micheladas,
bro.
Micheladas.
Micheladas.
Yeah, not Micheladas. Micheladas.
All right,
Tolly.
see you, boys.
Montoya, Chava, appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, he had to go pick up the kids right now. He's on daddy duty. Man, Tolly was fired up today, Rick.
Yeah, man. No, hey, this is a good show, man. I like these. You know, sometimes we always want to have guests, and we had some lined up, but
yeah,
obviously baseball came back this past week, so everyone's in spring training again. Everyone's back to work, and I just didn't know how long the lockout was going to last. So, you know, I had a few in mind for this week, and they're like, "Hey, dude, we're back. You know, sorry." So, but no, it's. You know, when I feel like when we get stuff that's raw, like, you know, for example, like Josh talking about when he got traded, when I got released and stuff like that, you know, people don't really ever hear those stories. They just read the newspaper and says, oh, you know, Toronto left-handed pitcher, Ricky Romero released. That's what the headline says. You know, nobody really says, hey, what really happened in that meeting? That's why I kind of figured, I was like, hey, the show's taking us that way. Let's go that way, you know, and I'll tell my story about what happened, how it is packing up your locker room, doing all that stuff, and just getting out of there, you know. But then, like, when you walk into the San Francisco Giants locker room or their minor league complex when I signed, and it's like a completely, like, you don't know anyone. You meet about 100 people, and yeah, man. I mean, but again, it's part of the game, and you know, and it's just stuff that happens. And like I said, obviously, we wanted to see, as a baseball fan, you wanted to see Freddie Freeman back with the Atlanta Braves. But again, it's a business, and he's going to go where he can maximize his opportunity.
Heck yeah.
When it comes to money. because you're only gonna make it once. I'm sorry, you know, and people, oh, he left because of the money. Oh, he left because of, well, damn right. I mean, sometimes that's just, you know,
Yep.
I mean, you get that opportunity once in a lifetime, and you can't turn it down. So I
You're,
hope
you're,
Freddie Freeman signs wherever he wants to sign. I mean, I'd love to see him in Toronto. The Jays do need a left-handed bat.
and a Canadian bat. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that all offseason. They do need a left-handed bat. You know, I joke around in the group chat. I'm like, man, they should trade for, you know, Matt Chapman or bring in Jose Ramirez. I know that the fans, I asked who they want. It was either Freddie Freeman or Jose Ramirez, and yeah, I mean, but they've done a good job of adding pieces to that rotation. At the end of the day, for me, pitching is going to win you the ball games, and
Yeah.
they added Kikuchi from Seattle, and they gave him a nice little deal, and you hope that works out. Now their rotation 1 through 5 is pretty solid, so you just hope they stay healthy. And I know you know, I've always been a fan of Pete Walker out there in Toronto, their pitching coach. So once they get to working with him, I think Kikuchi is going to be pretty good.
Man, and there's so many moves to be made in the next couple of weeks because so many guys are
Yeah.
still free agents as they get ready to
This is
ramp
what's
up.
exciting, man. This is what was missing, right? I mean, the lockout was going on, and it's just like it was dead, and everyone's like, even our group chat's a little bit more lit, you know, like we're like, everyone's like, oh man, where's he gonna end up, or where's he going? Yeah, so this is what baseball's all about, and I think in a couple of days we start games, so it'll be good just to see. And I always say this: what I would have done for spring training to be 3.5 weeks, right? But you know, the one thing you just hope for every player out there is for them to be healthy, and I know they're getting a little bit rushed now because the season's just right around the corner. But I wish nothing but health to all my friends and everyone around the league, and there's nothing better than seeing top talent. You know, I sent you guys that picture of DeGrom and Scherzer, and I'm like, I want to see these two top guys in baseball. You know, top 2 pitchers in baseball, or some of the top 2. I want to see them healthy. You know, you just want to see what they're able to do and how they feed off each other. I mean, can you imagine going 3-game series and you're getting DeGrom and Scherzer? You know,
I don't want to see that series unless you're a Mets fan.
It just makes it fun, you know. And then you hear the news about Tatis Jr. and you're like, God, like it's almost like deflating as a fan because you know how exciting he is and the excitement he brings to the game. But then you're like, man, what are you doing riding a motorcycle?
Yeah, I'm not even getting into that one.
You know what I mean. And so it's just, to me as a fan, as a baseball fan, you want to see those guys out there, and you want to see, you know, the Mike Trout come back and do his thing this year. And I want to see Vladdy continue to kill it, Bo continue to kill it, George Springer, you know, and man, all that shit's exciting.
I just want to go to a game right now, man. I even looked at the spring training roster schedule. I'm like, when can I get out there? It's gonna be too hard to get out there.
Yeah, it'll probably be too hard.
It's too hard.
But I'm pumped on opening day, and it should be fun. And
hey, do you know Edwin Jackson at all?
Yeah, I do.
Let's get him on.
Okay.
You talk about guys who you talk going back to a different clubhouse. These guys been on what, 16 teams?
Yeah, he'd be a good one for this.
Yeah. I just, that ain't just popped up right. I think it's 14 or 16 teams. One of those.
I'd be curious to ask him which one hurt the most, because you know, like which one was. It's probably. I mean, I wonder if it's the Dodgers. You know, because he was a highly touted.
Yeah,
prospect.
He was. I remember that. Yeah. And now he's just been around there. All right. Thanks again to Montoya, who's a Sunday League All-Star. Chava, who's watching us right now. We need some more beer. Thanks to everybody who's listening. Go to the Let's Go Ricky Roll Instagram page. If you didn't get your stickers, I got a few left. Let me know. I'll send you the address. Pops Mobile Detailing sent a message right now, so I'm going to send them out to you. Actually, I need you to take care of my truck, man. It's a mess. Kids mess everything up, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, Rick. I'll see you this weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for another edition of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast.
Peace.